Welcome to a fan's perspective. It's your boy Boogie 45. How y'all feeling today? Okay, let's get into it, man. Cam versus Jcole. All right, let's get into the video.
Me and J. Cole are cool, or was cool. This is exactly what happens. Being a man is keeping your word. And I know everybody's busy and everybody has things to do. But if I give you my word 4 or 5 times, I got to do it. So on his first project he did, I did an intro for him. I did the record for him for his intro. I told him I may need a verse whenever I get a project done. He said, cool. He had another project. I did a record in 20 minutes. I knocked that shit out and went off about my business. I need a verse. I'm exaggerating, but he's like the shock rain right now, and the moon got a line with the star.
Yo, Cam, crazy man. I knew he was gonna make this funny somehow, cause he'd be funny without even trying.
And, when I write, I put my all into it. Okay, let's put your all into it. Then. You know what I'm saying? Give me that. You called me twice to do something, and I did it. One day you have 48 hours to do it. Then I knocked the other thing out as soon as I came to New York, because you ain't want to send me a record. You want to be in the studio with me. I knocked it out. Cool, you don't give me the record. Then I say, you know what? Forget the record. Let's do an interview. Bet I got you. I got a project coming out in June. Let's do it around there. Cool, June is coming. Oh, we pushed the album back. I don't want to just do an interview. All right, cool. Now we're going to do it in October. All right, I'll call you back in October. Yo, what's up? Oh, man, Keller, you say I tell you October, you call October, huh, nigga? Yeah, nigga. Yeah. So now this is when all the beef is going on with Kendrick Lamar. I can't do it now because I don't feel like talking about that right now. I said, look, I'll do
smell like BS. Smells like BS.
the interview. I won't even bring that up. He says, nah, I can't do no interview and not talk about it. All right. Well, when can I get the interview? Yo, February, definite. February, I'm dead ass on February. February come. Yo, what's up? Oh, shit. Yo, I'm still working, man.
Yo, man, that's crazy. But Cam don't paint me as a liar. J. Cole did that. That's mad corny. You know what I'm saying? Because first of all, if Cam does a song for your album, I'm pretty sure there's royalties to be made with that verse. But he said, forget the royalties. Just do for me what I did for you. And if you can't do that, at least do the interview. And he BS'd, and nothing ever happened. So now the way Cam probably looking at it is like, all right, either you do the verse for me, do the interview, or pay me my royalties off the verse that I did for you, or we could go to court. Because I think 2 out of 4 of those options are off the table already. So it's either you pay me or we go to court. Then J. Cole replies by saying, we ain't never had an agreement, so pay my lawyers. That's wild corny, man. I'm sorry. I can't defend that. That's corny. You know what I mean? Your word's supposed to be your bond, man. You understand? So CAMRON is right for going that route and go all the way with it. You know what I mean? Now, I listened to the J. Cole album. It's pretty good. I mean, it's nothing less than what I expected. Right? They didn't under-deliver, you know. What I will say is I don't want to hear no shots being thrown at nobody, because when you did have a chance, when you were supposed to perform, you backed out, fam. You didn't perform. You let Nas down. You let the fans down with that. You engaged with Kendrick and then you pulled out of it. So I don't really care too much for the shots that you're shooting on the record. They don't really matter to me. It don't really, you know what I mean? But the album, like I said, it was a good album. And it got some joints in there that it definitely has replay value to it as well, you know. And he's doing he's taking his album on the road, selling records out the trunk, old school how we used to do it. But I think more rappers need to start doing that, because I don't think the streaming is paying as much. So you're better off just doing hand to hand. And if you got notoriety and you're a big artist, your fans will appreciate it that you went out there and touched the people. So that's definitely respectable. You understand what I'm saying? So for sure, man. Shout outs to J. Cole, shout outs to Cam. I hope they come to some kind of agreement where they're able to work this out. It don't seem like it, but hey, what I'm gonna say. Okay, next on the chopping block. All right, so we got Vlad, right? Now Vlad had a tweet that he had posted like a day or two ago. And I don't think people put this tweet in its context. He said, I have a confession. Rock Nation has been paying me to support Megan. They also paid off all jury members to convict Tory. And they bribed the judge too. Jay-Z did a verse for his grandson's new album. They paid off Megan's doctor to lie about the bullet fragments. She was never shot. The LA police are all on Jay's payroll. It doesn't stop with LA, but you're not ready to hear that part. The Mexican guy who stabbed Tory, who you think paid him to do that? You already know the answer to that. Now, people couldn't see that was BS within the first few sentences. I don't know, man. People were sitting there making content out of that. I was like, come on, bro. It's satire, man. Like, Vlad is joking, man. It ain't content, man. The 3 Supreme judges who denied Tory's appeal all paid over by Rock Mafia. Jay also paid Trump not to pardon Tory. Even though it's a state case, Trump can only pardon federal cases. But knowing Trump likes to bend the rules, Jay wasn't taking any chances. I can't keep these lies secret anymore. If this is my last speech, you know who silenced me. Come on now. Come on. You got to know Vlad trolling with that one, man. Vlad do not believe that Tory is innocent. He's constantly stressed that. He do not believe that. And when I looked over the Tory case, it was a few things that convicted Tory. People are talking about the DNA on the gun, right? But the thing is, all right, number one, they convicted him off of the conversation he had with Kelsey after the situation. The text that Kelsey texted the bodyguard just saying that Tory had shot Megan. Not only that, but Megan getting up on there and testifying herself. So these are the main things. And then, the evidence, the bullet fragments and all of that stuff. Like, these are the things that convicted Tory. Now, as far as his DNA not being on the gun, I mean, that could be wiped off. It wasn't really clear. It wasn't definitive that it's for sure it's Tory's DNA on the gun. But at the end of the day, if you wipe the gun off, the prints ain't gonna be, the prints are not gonna be able to be picked up and be clear. You understand what I'm saying? So, but just hanging off of that alone does not make Tory look any innocent. If Tory would have took the stand in his own defense, then we would have seen, then it would have been challenged. But he didn't. You understand what I'm saying? So the evidence that's stacked up beats that one thing that they trying to hang off of, like, oh, his DNA wasn't on the gun. Okay. But look at all this other evidence. And that's why he got convicted. So Vlad never believed that Tory was innocent. You understand what I'm saying? And that's why he was trolling. He took everything that people were saying and about Tory being innocent, and he put it in one tweet. And just to show people how ridiculous they sound. But it's like people couldn't catch that. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man. But that's a wild one right there, man. Now, another thing I want to go over is Memphis Bleek and Yayo had a back and forth, right? I'm gonna show y'all this clip. They had a back and forth, and I just had to revisit it because there were some things that weren't necessarily said. It wasn't necessarily revealed in between them having this back and forth. So I gotta catch y'all up on speed to where it started. All right. So let's get to it. All right. So this one right here.
They don't look
They'll
out
look up a Bleek like they'll look out for you.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I just want to clear that up. Hov don't have to.
And then he said he eat his home halal.
You know what I mean? All right. I'm chewing halal on my own.
He eats on his own. I eat on my own too.
Right.
I go on my own too. I just came off tour.
Right.
When have you seen Bleek on tour? On his own. Jay-Z is not a bad guy. Bleek is not a bad guy. I'm not saying that. I'm saying to you that Jay-Z was all business with them niggas. When Buck up on his taxes, 50 a piece or more. When Prodigy bought a house and needed more money, 50 a piece or more. Prodigy are paying back. The thing with 50 is it was business and we was friends. I don't feel like Bleek was Jay-Z friend. I don't feel like Young Guns was Jay-Z friend. It came to a point where 50 was helping Siegel. Siegel was left in the dust. Let's keep it real. That's how I looked at it.
You spoke about.
All right, so they had a situation where, you know, they was going back and forth. But Yayo just felt like, you know, Jay-Z didn't have a personal relationship with the people that were signed to him. It was more just all business and no play. You understand what I'm saying? And 50 is a little different. Like, he'll look out for his artists outside of business. That's what Yayo was trying to explain, right? So Bleek said Hov don't have to. You know, he said he's chewing a lot on his own, right? All right. So one thing is been consistent with Hov is that he gonna make you stand on your own as a grown man. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. But going back to what Yayo said, I got some things I want to show. All right. So when it came down to Bleek, on March 14th, 2016, Malik Cox, aka Memphis Bleek, has filed for Chapter 13 bankruptcy in the District of New Jersey. What is Chapter 13? Unlike Chapter 7 liquidation, Chapter 13 is a reorganization for individuals with regular income. It allows the debtor to keep their assets, like a home, while following court-approved 3 to 5 year plan to pay back all or a portion of their debts. The outcome: the case was eventually dismissed on August 8, 2016, after Bleek failed to complete the plan, and the case was officially closed in January 2017. Right? Now, the second part to that is the financial report income. The total monthly income in 2016 was $59,011.94. The sources was the business income, with $5,300 was net operating from Get Low Touring Inc. The royalties was $571 a month. And context: while 70K a year is a solid middle class income, it was insufficient to support the high maintenance lifestyle and legacy debt that he carried on from his rock days. Now, all these are facts. You can look all of this stuff up. Now, what I will say, it kind of solidifies what Memphis Bleek said. I mean, not Memphis Bleek, what Yayo said, my correction. It solidifies what Yayo said, is that he was all business with them cats. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, with Siegel got a food truck, you know what I'm saying, out there in PA right now. You feel me? You know, the Young Guns, I don't really know of too many artists that has had success after Rockefeller. Now, it could be their fault. It could be strictly their fault. You know what I mean? But as a CEO, it doesn't look all the way right. You know what I mean? If, like, damn, the only artist I would say that, you know, went on to do great things after Rockefeller is Kanye West. You know, he started the clothing line, but Kanye West was already multi-talented. You know what I mean? So, you know, you got to add that into the mix. But was Jay-Z all business with them? Most likely. Was it Jay-Z's fault that their careers didn't, you know, go on after Rockefeller? Probably not. I mean, sometimes it comes down to how you handle your own finances. Because one thing for sure, what made Rockefeller different from other labels is Rockefeller didn't take publishing from anybody. So whatever you made, you still had, they'll take the masters, but not the publishing, right? They got to get something, right? So you still had room to eat. If you was out here putting in work, your publishing checks was gonna come, and that's on top of your rap checks, your touring, all that other stuff. So I mean, it was a good deal. It was a good record deal. So can we totally blame this on Jay? Not really. You know what I mean? So that was it's kind of crazy. But was he all business with them? I would believe so, but I don't think the business was bad business. You understand what I'm saying? Now, would Jay pay your debts and do all of these things? I mean, I don't know. He paid Lil Wayne's debt. He bailed out a few other rappers, but when it came to the people on this label, I don't know what he did. You know what I mean? Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. Who knows? It's all up in the air. It's all speculation. You understand what I'm saying? But it does make Yayo point look. It does kind of drive Yayo point home. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's like, okay, if that's because Yayo looking at things from the outside, how anybody else would look at it from the outside, right? And it's like, damn, you let your mans drown and you ain't throw him a life raft. That's how I'm supposed to be possibly looking at it. You know what I'm saying? You let your mans drown, you ain't throw him a life raft. Man, your mans went bankrupt, and it's like, what happened? You know what I mean? But I'm a throw, to be fair, right? To be fair, Bleek could have been on the type of time where it's like, I ain't gonna tell Jay what's going on with me. I want to deal with this myself as a man. I want to go through this myself. You understand what I'm saying? Because sometimes when you got a homeboy that's up, it's like you don't want to have to go to him every single time for every single issue that you run into. So sometimes you might want to deal with things on your own and say, you know what, I'm gonna deal with this on my own. You understand what I'm saying? I don't even want to put that on him. Let me handle this. You know what I'm saying? So I can't really say that Jay even knew that even was going down. He might not have even knew. And then when he got wind of it, because you see it was settled in 2017, that's 1 year after. So I'm pretty sure if Jay got wind of it, he was like, nah, we taking care of that. We getting that out the way. You know understand what I'm saying? And Bleek has been over distribution of Duce for a while now. So you're eating off of that. Distribution is very important in any business. It's one of the most valuable positions that you can have in any business, even the music business. Rappers start 1 million record labels, but they don't start distribution labels. You dig? So, it is what it is with that, man. Shout out to Bleek. Shout out to Yayo. You know what I mean? Y'all put that joint to bed, man. Let's continue to make that music that everybody loves. You feel me? All right. And last but not least, you have 50 Cent versus Faizon Love, right? So I'm gonna play a little bit about what Faizon said about 50. You gotta tell me what y'all think about it. Hold on 1 sec. Yeah, so Faizon, he been having a lot to say about a lot of rappers, man. And I don't know. Sometimes I be feeling like Son is a hater. You know what I mean? Because he doesn't really have a lot of good things to say about people, and it's like, did he have with certain people? And sometimes it makes me think like, damn, did he have a personal issue with this person? Did they bump heads personally or whatever the case may be? I don't know. But let's get into it.
He needs a studio to facilitate his
writing, his
because he might produce this. I'm writing this. I'm acting in this. So I got 5 movies going on just this month. And then Marvel might say, "Hey man, we need to have your studio. We're gonna give you $14 million for having the studio for 2 weeks."
Easy.
But
isn't that why 50's doing it?
Nobody's giving him no money to rent a movie in
but why? If it's a dope location,
because they would have did it themselves. They the one that started Atlanta.
So maybe he thinks he's going to start Shreveport.
He's not a filmmaker. What if I told you I'm starting a music business in Flint, Michigan?
I'd be like,
I bought a studio. I'm like, tripping.
I worked with him for a lot of years.
Yeah.
Can you tell you?
Yeah.
Cheap.
I don't see him wasting no money.
He's not in the business of wasting money.
That's what I'm saying. No, I hear what you're saying.
Yes.
But I see what he's doing.
So what's the play?
He's building up to sell it. It's just talking. It's like,
clip farming, like.
Yes. It's like, so we talking about it right now.
Yeah.
Just like the Diddy film. Do you think he made money on that?
Yeah.
No. Where from where? You have to sell this.
It's all to Netflix.
For what, $5 million?
Sound like a lot of money to me, Faizon.
Dave Chappelle gets $40 million for our stand-up. So how the f is a Diddy
a 5-6-part series get $5 million?
But we don't.
But this the thing. How do you know what 50 made off of that situation with Netflix? You think somebody's gonna get all these people together, right? All the victims. Remember, he gave the victims money to pay for their lawyer fees and things of that nature as well. Let's not forget about that part, right? So he did that. Then you got to shoot it. Then you got to produce it. You got to put this film together, and then you sell it to Netflix for an undisclosed amount of money. Faizon does not know how much money 50 sold Netflix that Diddy documentary for. So let's get that clear. Let's get that clear. And to say that 50 Cent is not a filmmaker, well, what is he? If he ain't a filmmaker, then what is he? You understand? Let's get back to it though.
We don't know if he got $5 million. We don't know what he got.
He got $5 million, and he didn't. And somebody brought it to him, and that's free money.
See, you come on. You thinking like a corner boy now. Yo, I only put in. I re-up. That was not the buy.
You talking about ex-drug dealers? That's how they make.
He's not a. Listen to me. I never understood 50 Cent. He's always seemed like a victim to me. Like, you got shot 5 times. You got shot 5 times. Well, I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to you that shot you. This nigga is wild. That nigga, no wonder you online. What you mean you want to talk to that shot to? I don't want to talk to you. Who's the that shot? You don't want to see that survived the bullets and made it back and fought back and got how many friends I got that? I got these that got shot 5 times, but they didn't rap and make to the top of the food chain and become one of the famous all time in rap. They didn't do that, Faizon. They just got shot.
Yeah.
They just got shot.
So you know mad famous that got shot and became...
Not mad famous. That's what I'm saying. But maybe he's famous for certain, you know. I don't know.
I know.
He
put out an album that goes diamond.
Yeah, so did Outkast. And they didn't get shot. He needs a studio.
Yeah, man. And I'm gonna show you, like, Faizon has a way. He has a track record of doing this, man. He has a track record. Let's get into
some
another
things to say about Jay-Z not being a drug dealer. How do you feel about all that? You know what I'm saying? What's your thoughts about that looking back?
I said what I said, and I'm gonna keep it where I said it. I mean, y'all know Jay-Z. I'm deductive logic. I'm using logic, and I'm using my street sense. And my street sense says, if Jay-Z's selling dope, they're whooping his every day and taking his. I can't see him. You know, there's the other side of selling cocaine that they never talk about. It's not about buying cars and buying necklaces and losing 92 bricks and being okay and going to dance. I've sat down and talked to D. Haven. He's the dope dealer.
You go from coke to crack. Where is Jay during this whole process?
I ain't put too much on him. He didn't have to do anything. It was already in place. It was just about just keeping things, keeping things going on.
You had some things to say about Jay.
All right, so we see that Faizon has a reputation of, he has a track record of doing this. People that he don't like, he'll just go out and just try to poke holes in their character. Now, as far as the Jay-Z thing, like you say you talked to DeHaven, right? But Jay-Z and DeHaven don't even have a good relationship. And one thing DeHaven said is that Jay was definitely out there hustling with him. What is Jay supposed to do? He's supposed to come to the internet and confirm that he was a drug dealer and moved all these bricks and all this. Like, come on, man. Like, you sound ridiculous. What is your real issue with Jay-Z? You know what I'm saying? What is your real issue? Then when it comes to 50 Cent, it's like, you know, when they're saying that the things that certain things that he's saying is wrong, and they're saying like, okay, well, he did this and he did that. It's like, oh man, you know, come on, man. You're just trying to find anything to drag that man down. And when you want to, you know, this is a perfect example of men tearing other men down to make themselves look bigger. When is the last movie that Faizon been in? Let's keep it a buck that we all remember. Because you remember the Big Worm, and remember him playing the dude that was in the cell touching on what's the other actor name? I don't know if it was Chris Rock or Chris Tucker. I think it was Chris Tucker. But you know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, it's like, what is your issue with these guys, man? Because okay, for 50 Cent to not be a filmmaker, he does a hell of a good job putting them films out. The Power series. I mean, come on. 50 got a whole lot of movies out there that you probably haven't seen. A lot of them ain't hit Hollywood, but for every 10 of them that don't hit Hollywood, you'll have one of them that do. Then you got the Power series. That's been very successful. Everything is not going to be a hit. Some things might miss, but Power hit. The whole series of Power was fired. Everybody be locked in the fight to Power. You know what I'm saying? Come on. Then the joint he did with Ice Cube, son, like you can't front on 50 when it comes to the filmmaking. If anything, he should have got with 50 and try to be on the next thing 50 got coming out. You know what I mean? Then you say, okay, he building this stuff in Shreveport. It's just for clickbait. So I'm gonna put millions of dollars into this project just for clickbait. Why would I not want to have my own studios to where we could shoot podcasts, we could shoot movies, we could shoot TV shows, everything. It's a whole big studio that, just like how Tyler Perry got in Atlanta, the Compound. You understand what I'm saying? I heard Cat Williams is building something like that as well. Why not have our own thing? So we can do, we always relying on Hollywood for everything. Now we got to rely on self. So 50 trying to establish himself in this space and solidify himself, because he was already established himself, but he's trying to solidify himself in this space by having a studio, by having all the shows out, you know, being an executive producer behind all your favorite shows and TV series and all of that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like Faizon is being a hater. You understand what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. I mean, you look at 50 track record, then he's talking about, oh, a guy got famous for getting shot 5 times. If it's genius to take that situation and to rap about it in your song and make it a part of your story, because it is a part of your story, and turn around and make hundreds of millions of dollars off that story. How real is that? That's genius. There's plenty of people that got shot, but they ain't got the talent that 50 got. They ain't got the hustle that 50 got. So they're just a regular person that got shot. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't get what Faizon's angle with this whole situation is. I really don't understand it. And it really sounds like low key, like he hating. It really do. You know what I mean? Because he's been on this type of time. Sometimes I'm wondering, like, who's gonna be the next rapper? You understand what I'm saying? Who's gonna be the next rapper? So, you know, one more topic before I stab out, right? Now, Chief Keef has been somebody that I've been rocking with for a minute. You know what I mean? Like I've watched his whole come up. I don't listen to too much of his music currently, but at that time when Chief Keef came out, I loved the rollout. You know what I mean? Everything. I was a fan. I was a fan of his situation, and I heard. Well, it's not rumored. It's a fact now that Keef then linked up with NBA YoungBoy to do music, right? And people from his old neighborhood feeling like, oh, Keef is not loyal, or he doing songs with people that was enemies to King Von and Lil Durk or whatever the case may be. But let's put some context to this because there was a story behind it. So let's put some context.
On Steve Gray, folks, like I don't know if people like understand like I know y'all know the history, folks. So I'm not even gonna sit here and repeat the history, folks. But some people like Keith, folks, like he remember everything. You know what I'm saying? And not only do he remember everything, like he really like he don't go backwards, folks. Like that's one thing I learned about folks. Like some of these you done seen beef and get back cool in the midst of the last 10 years, bro. Any nigga cross Keith, folk, we have not seen back around Keith. Have not been rumored for Keith to like them, support them, or none of that, folk. Like he might like even with Smirk, like before Smirk got booked, like they were just DMing and like that, but it's real live, like everybody get played at arm's length, folk. Like everybody, you know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't these like you feel me? Like Sosa ain't went backwards at all. Like if a Nate him folk, he don't got no like he don't feel the loyalty he's supposed to have. You know what I'm saying? Like, and honestly, if you ask me, bro, that's why Sosa's still alive and free. This song with him and YB folk, he probably ain't feel no way when he made it about making it. And honestly, if you ask me, he probably shouldn't, bro. You know what I'm saying? He probably shouldn't. Yeah, he grew up where he grew up, and he from where he from. But we know how that went. I don't even want to get to saying all the details.
All right, he don't want to say the details, but I'm gonna put y'all up on it, right? Now, basically, Von, it was well, not allegedly. Von went on live and said why Chief Keef and them fell out. You know what I'm saying? Keef was supposed to put up some money to bail one of the bros out, and Keef wasn't coming up with the money fast enough. But he was still buying cars, buying four-wheelers and doing him. And when they seen Keef, allegedly he was robbed for his chain, and on top of that, they broke into his house when he was still living in Chicago. You understand what I'm saying? So how do you look at people like that? Once somebody violates you, even if y'all from the same hood, right? How do y'all view that? Is that person still your friend, or is that person now become your enemy? Because if that person's your enemy, then I don't care nothing about who your enemy is. If we was cool and you violated and stole from me or did something to me that that violated me or whatever, I don't care about who your enemy is. If me and your enemy end up getting cool, I don't care. We cool then. Because you've made yourself my enemy, and your enemy is not my enemy. So they say an enemy of an enemy is a friend. That's where that comes in at. Keith didn't have no beef with Young Boy. He didn't have a dog in that fight. But he had an issue with King Von. And anybody who surrounded themselves with him. Because y'all robbed me, y'all allegedly robbed me from my chain, and y'all broke in my crib and violated my house too. You understand what I'm saying? And Keith put all his homies on. Anybody who wanted to rap, if they was in that basement with Keith, they was gonna put out music. Because everybody that Keith was with, that was with the music, they was putting out music. Unless they got locked up or unless they unfortunately got killed. You know what I'm saying? But Keith ain't wrong for doing that, to be honest, because he don't owe them no loyalty. What kind of loyalty he owed them? They wasn't loyal to him. They needed something. They felt he wasn't coming through fast enough, and they robbed him. Then they run up in his house, still pay tampers and all kind of bullshit up out of his crib. Like, come on, man, that's some shit an enemy would do. That ain't your homie if you do that to you. So at the end of the day, Keith don't owe them no loyalty. And Keith is the smartest one out of that crew because once he realized people around him were dying, people that he was close to, like Capo and Blood Money and shit like that. Like once they started getting taken out, and the crazy thing with Blood Money got taken out right after Keith helped get him a deal with Def Jam. He went to Chicago to go check his peoples, celebrate a little, and then get back on the road. And he was taken out violently. You know what I mean? And now there's rumors floating around that King Yella was up on there saying that how, you know, people from Keith Hood had something to do with that allegedly. You know what I'm saying? We don't know how true that is, but that's what some was saying. So it's just like, with all that transpired, why would I feel loyal to you? Why would I feel like I owe you any type of loyalty? I don't. I absolutely don't. So Keith is right for moving the way he's moving. And to move to California and never move back, let me tell you something. That's the right move. Because I know women that moved from Chicago because of the violence, and they never moved back. They moved to another state. They established themselves in whatever career, whatever they're doing, and they live in their life. That's the only way that you can deal with a situation where the murder rate 500, 600, 700 a year. Like, you got to move around. You got to move around. You take a couple of homies with you that's loyal, and then you breeze. You can probably come through to visit, but you better come full security and all that. And sometimes if the situation the situation is too tricky, I don't even want to come back there for that. I'll send my love. If I got some paper, I got people over there I still love, I'll send them a little something, man. And you know what I mean? But I ain't putting myself in a position to get my ass smoked now. Let's be serious. We gotta, self-preservation is first. Then you could worry about everybody else. But you gotta make sure you're good. And when your homies is going back to Chicago and getting killed, why would you even want to still be coming out there like that? Blood Money got killed, Capo got killed. Even the homie with the one eye, man, I can't remember his son's name, but he came home, he was probation, and Keith wanted to bring him out there when he got off, probation, and he fulfilled his obligations, and he ended up getting killed. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, come on. And Fredo was out there in Cali with him, but then Fredo ended up passing from health complications. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to Fredo. You know what I mean? But you got to do what's best for you at some point. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like him linking up with YoungBoy, it just felt like a good move. YoungBoy is the hottest rapper in the game. Put all the beef aside. Anybody who do a feature with YoungBoy right now, they're gonna be lit. Even if their career is in a slump, they do a feature right now, with YoungBoy, it's gonna revive them for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was the right move. I think Keith was getting a little warm, and I think he wanted to turn it back up. And you pick one of the hottest rappers in the game. Now, did he do that on purpose? It don't even matter if he did it on purpose, because at the end of the day, he don't owe them boys no loyalty because they violated him. You feel me? So that's what I got to say about that, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout outs to Keith, man, and all of them. Shout outs to YoungBoy. You know what I mean? And yeah. And then it's crazy, right? Everybody that played Keith, that was from his city, because it was a time when Dirk and Keith wasn't seeing eye to eye, and Dirk was saying a lot of bullshit when it came to Keith. Vaughn, didn't mess with Keith. This person didn't mess with Keith. And you notice right now, all them boys from his block that had an issue with him, look where they at. Dirk locked up. Boss Talk locked up. Vaughn got killed. T-Roy got killed. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of the homies that he grew up around, a lot of them are gone. You feel me? Even the ones that violated, they gone. So Keith don't owe anybody no loyalty, man. You understand? I'm gonna end it on that, man. Catch me on the Fans Perspective on YouTube. From Fans Perspective on YouTube. I'm on PS5 right now. I'm on Arc Raiders. I'm gonna have different games. I'm gonna put out there. I'm gonna try out and things like that. But right now it's about that Arc Raiders. You know what I mean? And we getting ready for GTA 6 and all that too. You know what I'm saying? But my PlayStation tag is Baby Slim Dash 2013. You can catch me on PlayStation. Come on there, come fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? I'll be out there. But yeah, man. Welcome to I'm bucking. It's a little bloop. Listen, it's from a fan's perspective. This Boogie 45. I'm out, baby.